Chazaku Baruch. Good morning, Morei V'Rabotai. Be'ezrat Hashem, Mincha is going to be 4:50. Please be on time. As we mentioned yesterday, the halacha that if 4 people are holding up a tallit in order to make a canopy, like on Simchat Torah, we said that is permitted because it's being held up in a man-made fashion. And Bemet, I said this halacha yesterday, and one of the young ladies in Kirat Avodat Hashem asked me a great question. The question is as follows. We know that one of the things that is asur to do on Shabbat is to use an umbrella. And the main reason why it's asur to use an umbrella is because it's making a tent. When you put the umbrella over your head, you're making a tent. And if that's the case, so how come we distinguish and say an umbrella, you're holding it up, it's asur to use. And when you say the tallit, you had 4 people holding up the tallit over the young people, and then we said it's mutar to use. What's the difference between the 2 cases? They're both being held in a man-made fashion by somebody holding it. It's really a great question. So what's the answer to this question, Rabotai? I'm not going to make you wait till tomorrow, right? What's the answer to the question? The first answer, there's 2 ways to distinguish. One, in the case of the children, it's not really done for protective purposes. An umbrella is used for 1 or 2 things. One is for the rain, and one is when it's too much sun. So either way, the umbrella is there to protect, and that is the intent and the purpose. In the second case of the tallit, it's really not there for protection. It's there for the honor and kavod of the situation, of the circumstance of having all the children go up. So you're not really trying to protect against elements, and very clearly because you have a roof. So it's true that usually we say that, look, if it's not being held by a person, if you actually made a roof and an ohel, and you put a tallit on 4 different poles, and you made an actual canopy, even indoors is asur, but when it's being held up, so therefore it is mutar, since it's only for the sake of honor, and it's being held every moment by a person. That's one. Number 2, and this is a very important distinction, by the tallit, the understanding is it's not an oil whatsoever once they don't hold it. Meaning it no longer forms or takes shape of a tent. It doesn't have the status of a canopy. So meaning the holding it up is essentially what creates the oil milechatchila from the beginning. In the case of the umbrella, it's the understanding is it's already a formed oil. It's just now I'm using it as a functioning oil. But it's already been formed, meaning the tent is essentially holding itself up together. And therefore the oil is a functioning oil, and now I'm putting it over my head, that is indeed asur. However, when the tallit, you need the 4 people to essentially erect the tent in the first place. So long as they're not holding it, it doesn't even have a name of a tent. And that is also a distinction, although that's a much finer distinction, but nevertheless it's a true distinction between the 2 cases. One, the tent is effectively being man-made every moment, and the other one, the tent is already created, and therefore putting it over the head would be something that is asur in the case of the umbrella. And therefore, based on both of these reasons, there's a big difference between an umbrella being asur because of asiyat oil and the case of a tallit, which is permitted. And also we see from here that it's important to learn the halachot of Shabbat very finely and very carefully, because here is very subtle distinctions, but it makes a big difference between something being asur and something being mutar. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen v'amen.